A lot of my stuff is very personal. It's all about my family and this and that. And I talk about my stepdad being 200 years old, and you know, I do a joke still about how he's had so many operations they've replaced parts of him with animal parts. So he's got like a pig liver and something to do with a horse in his leg, and I do a big horse stomp and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's
like a Star Wars, like, oh, he's more animal than man now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I do stuff like that. So it's all very personal, but it's also very relatable.
Speaking of personal,
Yeah.
Bethlehem
Yes.
has been a project of yours you've worked on for...
Yeah.
So it's been a couple
feels
of years
like forever.
Yeah. So what's the process like?
I was so blessed with such a great cast and crew. They were helping out in between takes. They were, you know, there was characters. Raymond, the uncle, Rich Reagan's, phenomenal comic out of Louisville, and he was cooking lunch and dinner for the cast and crew.
In between.
Well, yeah, while we were upstairs filming, and you know, we come down, oh, we'll grab a sandwich and this and that. And you're in the middle, like, okay, now we have the slow motion fight, you know, like let's. So it was chaos, but they all chipped in, they all helped out, and it was great. And so we went from that kind of grueling schedule. We you know, you get it, and then you start editing, and that process takes, you know, forever. It feels like. We shopped it at first as a film. So we took it to festivals last year, and it won Best Picture in a couple things, and we got Best Ensemble Cast and a few other awards, and it was really great. We got tons of reviews that were very positive, and you get that feedback, and you're like, oh man, this is great, but nobody sees it. And so I was trying to factor that in, and originally I cut it down to like a 20-minute short, and I was like, if I can just get it here. But then it felt empty and kind of stripped away, and then I recut it a different way, and you know, I tried this and that, and finally I had the idea, like, well, what if I put it together like a web series?
He's gonna kill us, isn't he? We're fine, okay? We're family. Besides, people like that only murder, like, you know, weird homebodies that still live with their parents late into their 20s, that have never been with a real woman, and
so that's available on YouTube.
Yeah.
So speaking of short, you've got The Good Doctor.
Yes. So I was trying to figure out a way to capitalize on that bite-sized content again. You know, like you see Facebook and you see like clips like Now This News and stuff where it's a minute and a half long, but you still feel like, you know, you learned something, you got something out of it. Because there's an episode that's coming out where he's talking about how if he needs to valet his parking, and he goes, no, I took Mother. And he's like, then the doctor's like, Mother, is that like Uber or Lyft? And he's like, no, my mom dropped me off. Kind of thing. It's like, what if this supervillain, you know, still lives with his mom, and things aren't going well?
You can trace the issues back to he never really cut the apron strings.
Yeah, exactly. He's a struggling supervillain.
You also have a podcast.
Yeah,
the Punched Up Podcast.
I wanted to create something that I would like to listen to. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the comedy podcasts that are out there. I mean, I don't mean to bash on anybody, but even the great ones like Mark Maron and the Joe Rogan Experience, it's like, this is like a 4-hour thing. You know, like, gee, like, you know, like, how long do I have to hear Mark Maron talk about his cats? You know, like, I want to listen to Pete Holmes. I want to hear the stories, you know? And so again, it was like that idea of like, how do you get to it? How do you shrink that down? How do you
crystallize it into something?
How do you find that story? And so, so I just started focusing on one story per episode, and then much like Radiolab and This American Life, I would just build sound around it. So sound effects and music, and really set the tone and stuff like that. One of my favorite ones is Ricardo Flanagan when he talks about his stepdad stabbing him. He talks about that whole scene, and you know, I use these battle sounds from this Roman battle and stuff like that, where he's throwing him against the fridge.
And let's do it like this, and he grabs a knife and comes out with the knife.
Shit.
So I looked at him and I said, oh, so you want to grab knives? So I grabbed him by his wrist and I pushed him up against the china cabinet.
all of a sudden you hear it, you know, it really comes to life, and that's kind of what my goal is there, to actually make you feel like you're in that story.
So what do you have coming up next?
More episodes of Punched Up, more episodes of The Good Doctor. I'm working on a claymation thing is kind of on the horizon as well.
Nice. Great, yeah, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Well, thanks for having me, man.